Y'all have been asking and I heard you, so let's go make this backpack. But first, always remember to share this so it was saved to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. I started with one piece of fabric for the front, one piece of fabric for the inside. Each piece of fabric is 17 by 50. And I rounded off one end of each piece of fabric. There's a whole written pattern at hometownquiltcompany.com, and sometimes I make things up as I go, but for today's tutorial, I'm gonna follow the pattern, so when you get the pattern and you're following it, you can follow along. Okay, so I'm gonna fold up the lining from the bottom up 20 inches. And I'm gonna clip this, and then I'm gonna fold the front lining up 20 inches also and clip it. I'm folding it up from the bottom and I'm laying it pretty side to pretty side. So I was very intentional when I made this backpack. No buttons, no zippers, no snaps. Everything is straight stitches and it's so cute when you're finished. And I'm gonna clip this. Okay, now my next set of instructions says to put a mark about 3 inches apart and then sew from here to here and here to here and then all the way down this other side. We want to leave this hole because that's how we're going to turn our bag right side out in a few minutes. So we're going to sew this with a straight stitch, a 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when we start and when we stop because my grandma said so. If you want to add fusible fleece or some kind of interfacing to make the bag a little stiffer, you'll do that before you sew it together. We've sewn the lining, so we're going to just put it to the side because we're not going to touch it again until the very last step, or next to the last step. Okay, our next set of instructions says to cut 4 pieces of bias tape. It says to cut it 3 inches long. Set off. All right, I need 4 pieces that are 3 inches long. Doesn't have to be exact. And then I'm gonna cut 2 pieces that are 5 inches. I'm gonna go on and cut mine because I've already got it right here. Now this is some printed bias tape from Amazon, but y'all, it's so cute. And y'all know my friend Bessie Pearl. Okay, her name's not Bessie Pearl. That's the name of her binding company. It's Bessie Pearl Binding Company. It's named after her grandma and it's so cute. She has lots of printed bias tape that would be great for this too. Our 4 3-inch pieces, we're just gonna fold those in half and stitch down. We just wanna make sure they're closed. Straight stitch, we're gonna sew this kind of like a top stitch, as close to the edge as we're comfortable. If you have bias tape, use what you have. Don't go buy something new. But if you're buying something new, the printed stuff is super cute. We've sewn these, now we're gonna clip these apart just because I chain piece them. And we're gonna take our 2 5-inch pieces. And we're gonna sew those shut too, but we need to fold the ends of these in and then fold it over so that we don't have a raw edge. You want to fold both ends in and stitch down that side because these are going to be on the outside of our bag and we don't want the raw edge. The raw edge of those are fine because they're going to be on the inside of our bag. Our next set of instructions says to clip our corners so that we can box them. And we want to cut them out 2 inches, and there's a template in your pattern that you can use. You can cut it out and use it if you want to. I'm just gonna fold mine over and cut mine 2 inches because I'm pretty confident I can get it as close to 2 inches. But the template's there if you need to use it or want to use it. I'm just measuring with my heart. You know, that's always a good idea, right? So I just put mine on top of each other, folded it over, and so now this is what you have. It's folded up with the corners cut out. This is just gonna give you some boxed corners, and it's so pretty. Fold your hemmed bias tape in half with all the raw edges together. Place in between the pretty sides of your outer piece of fabric. Okay, so now we're gonna take these 4, the 3-inch pieces. We're gonna fold it in half. We're gonna put it inside our pretty sides of the front of our fabric and clip it. Now you wanna come down about a 1/2 inch because you're gonna top stitch this in a minute and you don't wanna accidentally sew that. And then we're gonna come down here and do the same thing, not that one. We want to make sure we have the 3-inch ones. Put it right here, just above where you cut this out, right there. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. This is what's gonna hold your backpack straps in a minute. Oh, we already sewed the lining. It tells you to sew the lining right here, but we've already done that. Sew down both sides of the outside of your bag and of the lining. Don't forget the hole in your lining. All right, so now we're gonna sew down the sides of our bag, here and here. straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop, because my grandma said so.
I made this backpack 14 different ways until I figured out the easiest way to make it, and then I wrote a pattern, so it's all written down for you.
Okay, when we sewed that down, we just sewed our pieces of bias tape inside, like this. You see it? But because we laid it in there and we sewed it down, then when we turn our bag right side out, it's going to come out to the sides, which is going to be perfect for what we're needing. Now, our next set of instructions says to box the corners. So all you're going to do on all 4 corners, you've cut them out of the lining and of the front. You're literally just going to put your fingers into the sides and pull it out. And you're going to have this straight seam right here. And you're just going to sew that down here and here and here. You see it? And then on the other corner. So box all of your corners next.
The full written pattern is available at hometownquiltcompany.com and has great photos. The bias tape that I got is available in my Amazon storefront if you're looking for that.
Okay, so we boxed all of our corners. Now, it says add your 5-inch loops to the outer flap, 11 inches down from the top and 5 inches in. Here's your outer flap. We're going to measure 11 inches down. So it's going to be right here and 5 inches in. And then your piece of bias tape is going to make like a U, just like this right here. Let me pin this on here and I'll show you. Do you see that? That's what it's going to look like. And you're going to come 11 inches down and 5 inches in from this side and make another U. Now, the reason that we put them like this is because this is kind of bulky at the ends, and if you put it on top of each other, it might break your needle. But if you lay them side by side and sew straight across here and straight across here, that's all you need. For extra reinforcements, I'm gonna stitch, back stitch, and stitch so that it has a couple of stitches in it, because I suspect mine is gonna get pretty heavy and have a whole lot of use, and I wanna make sure that it holds up. Okay, we've done that. Now, the next thing we do is put our bag together, I'm pretty sure. Yep, that's it. So we put the lining inside the outer part of the bag, but you want them pretty side to pretty side. So turn your lining right side out, put it inside your bag just like this. And then you're gonna sew here, around, and back here. Almost like one big circle. And then you're gonna turn it right side out through the hole that you left in your lining. Kind of genius.
You're just sewing this like you've sewn everything else. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop, because my grandma said so. And going in this circle, there's no secret. Slow and steady.
Okay, we've sewn it. Now let's turn it right side out. And I was trying to decide, y'all. I got this precious cotton webbing from Stitch Supply. Look how cute this is. That I want to use as my backpack. The instructions tell you how to make a strap if you want to make your strap, but I think I'm going to use webbing for mine. Yep, that's what we need. Y'all know, this is my favorite. I used it on my crossbody bag too. But before we do that, we're going to turn it right side out, close up the hole that we left, and then we need to iron it. I need to find my hole. I know it's here because I just pulled my bag out through it. There we go. Close my hole up, and then we need to iron it flat so we can top stitch it. And then we'll add our straps. Now I'm gonna push it down in here, and I'm going to iron it. This is my ironing situation. Heat resistant pad, wool mat, Oliso Mini Pro 3 iron, all available in my Walmart and Amazon storefronts if you're looking for them. Now, we're just gonna make sure that we push all of this extra fabric. You know, when you fold something right side out after it's been inside out and you lay it flat, you have these pockets. We don't want these pockets in there. So make sure that you get it pushed all the way out and then iron it down. Now push it out with your fingers, handy dandy tool, chopstick. Do not use your scissors. It's a terrible idea. Terrible, terrible. You'll be crying because you have a hole in your project. I'll be crying because you didn't listen to me. And everybody's crying. Let's just don't do it. Okay, after you've ironed it, now we're gonna go and top stitch around everything that you've just sewn, around here and the flap. A top stitch is just a straight stitch, nothing special. It's just sewn a little closer to the edge. I like for mine to look like it's about to fall off of my project, but you only sew as close as you're comfortable.
I tell y'all this all the time because it's true. When I first started sewing, I was not top stitching anything. I was so glad to be finished with my project, but take the few minutes. You'll be glad you did.
And your bag is finished. Now we just need to make your straps or add your straps. Now I'm using this cotton webbing, And our instructions tell us how long to make it, but if I have the supplies, I'm gonna show you how to make it adjustable. Let me see what I can find. Okay, I don't have the supplies to make it adjustable, but I'm gonna get the supplies so that we can make an adjustable strap. Cut 2 pieces of fabric 7 inches wide by 24 inches. So that means we're gonna make this strap 24 inches long. Let me go cut it. Now you can absolutely make your strap longer if you would like for it to be longer. So just because mine are 24 inches, it's what works for me, but you can make yours whatever length you want. Now I'm gonna take this D hook that has this clip on it, and I'm just gonna feed my webbing through there. Now this is a 1-inch D hook, and ideally it would be for 1-inch webbing, but it's the only size D hook I have, and this is the size webbing I wanna use. So I'm using it just the same anyway. Now I'm just gonna straight stitch right here. And if I had known I was gonna use this webbing on everything I touched, I would have bought some more of it, but I only bought one thing of it. I like it, but evidently I didn't realize how much I liked it. Now I'm gonna go to the other end, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Put my hook in there, fold it over, stitch it down. I'm gonna do that. I did it to both ends of this one, and then I'm gonna do it to both ends of that strap. Make sure when you put it through your D hook, you don't get your strap twisted, because you would like one part of your strap to be pretty and the other part to have your fold over pieces on it. Now I'm gonna do the other strap the same way. Okay, now you've either made your straps or you've added webbing to your D hooks. Now you're gonna take your hook and you're gonna hook it to the side and then to this bias tape in the back, and then you're gonna hook it to the bottom. Just like that. And you're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Hook it to the bias tape on the back and on the side, and then on the bottom. And you have just made the easiest, fastest, cutest backpack ever. Now I took mine and I put my name on the front of mine with some iron-on chenille letters. Now don't iron them on. I mean, you can, but you have to stitch them down. The iron-on does not stay. But the backpack is super roomy. Will carry all of your things. It's washable and it's handy as a back pocket. I can't wait to see the ones you make. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.